In 1829, William Cobbett published a guide for English families sailing to America, and it contained a warning about the toilet. On an emigrant ship, the usual place for relieving yourself was up on the open deck, within sight of everyone on it. The modesty of English women, Cobbett wrote, too often stopped them from using it at all, a reluctance he called amiable, and one that had often produced, in his words, disagreeable and even fatal consequences. Relief, he explained, was indispensable to animal existence. Holding it in was destructive. This is where these women lived. The steerage, the space between the top deck and the middle deck, entered not by stairs but down a step ladder through a hatch. The beds, the berths, ran along the ship's side, separated by boards, built so a sleeper wouldn't roll out when the ship leaned. You brought your own blankets. A husband was told to go aboard beforehand and use his own senses to choose the best berth for his wife. The ship had rules for decency. When the women dressed and undressed, the men went up on deck and left them alone, and if any man was brute enough to stay, the captain would instantly force him up on deck. The rules could manage dressing. They could not move the toilet. So the book gave the husband his orders: use every argument to overcome her modesty, lose no opportunity. And if she was too sick to leave her berth, he was to stand ready with the suitable utensil and perform, in Cobbett's phrase, the office of chambermaid himself. Because every other woman on board could be seasick at the very same time, her body was his duty. So was her mind. On a dark night, with the wind howling through the rigging, the crew called up on deck. Ropes and heavy wooden bars rattling down, the speaking trumpet bawling over the roar of the wind. The husband was to pat his wife's cheek, fake a laugh, and tell her the captain said there was not the least danger and the ship was making great time, even if all the captain had actually told him was to get below and keep out of the way. Cobbett justified the lie with a rule from the moral philosopher Dr. Paley: it is not lying to tell a falsehood to a madman to prevent harm. And what did a crossing actually look like? Cobbett described his own last passage. 40 grown steerage passengers, 14 or 15 of them women, several with children. And on the whole crossing, not one sick person on board, except the captain's brother, who had sailed to England to recover his health, died halfway across and was carried the rest of the way to America by his brother in a puncheon of rum. A barrel.